People have doubted her in the past. You can't do that. I probably would have been one of them. You can't lift that much at that weight class. I probably would have said the same thing. No. Coach Greg, and today the most highly requested female natty or not that I've had in the last 6 months. Stefi Cohen. Stefi Cohen has set over 20 world records in powerlifting. Different weight class, different weights, different times. She breaks a record, breaks it again. Somebody breaks a record, she breaks it back. She is incredibly strong. But is she in fact natural? To do a proper natty or not, you have to look back at their past. Do they have great genetics? What is their work ethic? How hard are they trying? How hard are they training? Is it unrealistic? And so on. So I look back at her childhood, and was she in fact a freaky athlete or not? Yes, she has mind-blowing genetics. World-class athlete, not only in one sport, but in several. This woman from Venezuela was part of the national soccer team for years, competed at the highest level of soccer for years. Shows just how athletic she was. She then moved to the United States and took up various sports such as boxing, triathlons, running. Didn't matter what it was, she was good at it. An extremely dedicated, gifted, and smart and intelligent athlete. She's willing to outwork and outtrain everybody, okay? So you gotta look back and say, hey, she's extremely strong, but what about her genetics? The genetics are up there, and not just physical genetics, as in her ability to be awesome, mental genetics as well. You have to be mentally strong as well to be able to train and do what she's doing. She got into lifting weights a little bit at 16, just fooling around the gym, nothing serious until the age of 20 when she started to say, hey, I really want to be good at this whole weightlifting thing. So she started Olympic lifting and dabbled into a little bit of CrossFit. She was studying physiotherapy in university, and eventually she became a doctor of physiotherapy. She actually quit school for a while because she was so dedicated to sport, she didn't have enough time to study. You could only have 24 hours in a day. She was doing 2-a-day lifting sessions, 6 hours a day training. On top of that, having to study, there's no time. So she eventually got kicked out. Grades weren't high enough. Went back to school, said, hey, give me another chance. Gave her the chance. She studied doctor of physiotherapy now. She worked harder than last time. So what had to give? What did she do? Well, she said, I just can't do this Olympic lifting thing. I don't have the time, 6 hours a day. Who can do that? Maybe I'll try powerlifting. Powerlifting, you don't need to train that much. Maybe I'll train 2 hours a day powerlifting. I'll have time to actually have a life, to do other things in life. Study. It's not all about sport. There's other things in life too. Being smart, studying, learning, improving, all important things. So, did she in fact have good genetics for strength? Well, the first time she tried to do a sumo deadlift, first time ever, she had done squats, sure. She knew how to do a clean and jerk and a snatch. But the first time doing an actual sumo deadlift, and natural, she pulled 315 pounds her first time. That shows extremely gifted genetics. Most females will not even pull 315 pounds in their whole life. She done this to start off with. Another sign of PD use in a female, the deep voice. So I listened to her talk, and I listened well.
We're here to answer the $1 million question.
Sounded like a woman. Sounded pretty good.
And that's what we're here for, my babies.
So, based on the voice alone, if you're listening to her talk, he doesn't have that raspy sound that somebody abusing PDs may have. Doesn't mean she's natural, but it's not a sign on her own body. What about facial hair growth? Didn't see any, didn't appear to be shaving. Sometimes when women abuse PEDs, they'll have hair growth and they'll have to shave. Didn't notice that whatsoever. I also never noticed a receding hairline. Never noticed that she was balding. So aside from the physical side effects from PED use, it's just not blatantly obvious. Does that mean she's natural though? It doesn't mean that yet, now does it? We need to dive further. So let's look at her actual physique, the muscular development. What does she have? Does she look beyond attainable for a female? Okay, so I analyzed her physique as a teenager. No signs of extra muscles, didn't look like she grew suddenly, no huge muscle mass, just a normal looking teenage female who's excessively athletic, extremely athletic, okay? So she looks great, but has no signs of PDUs, and I 100% think she's natural as a teenager. What about into her 20s? Well, from 20, 21, 22 years old, I'm looking at her body, it just looks like someone that's been training harder than last time. She's slowly developing muscle, she's not obese, she's not mind-blowing shredded, just a normal athletic female that's clearly genetically blessed and gifted. Age 23, starting to look a little bit more suspicious, seems to be adding a little bit more muscle. This could, however, be from a change in training style. She went from training for Olympic lifting, where the focus is not on building a lot of muscle, but more so on lifting a heavy weight for 1 rep, with speed and explosiveness, not focusing on muscle growth. So no obvious signs. I would say, hey, probably still natural. You never know, of course, you don't know for sure, but I would have argued, say, hey, this is just a gifted athlete training as hard as she can with intelligence. After all, she is studying in university to be a physiotherapist, so she knows the human body quite well. Age 25, 26. Starting to grow even more muscle, and usually the first several years are where you're going to build the most muscle, then it kind of tapers off and slows down. In her case, it appears to be accelerating slightly. So does the change in muscle development look shocking or astonishing? Like, wow, there's so much in 1 year? No, not really. However, you would expect a decline in growth. For example, the first few years, maybe she's gaining 5 pounds of muscle. But every year after that, it's supposed to get harder. It should be getting harder to grow muscle, not in fact easier. And in this case, it appears to be getting easier. It's very suspicious, but not enough to say not natural. No, it's not enough to say not natty. So why are so many people saying Stefi Cohen natty or not? Why are they saying that? Well, here is why. She then began setting all-time world powerlifting records. World records. That means she lifts more than any female ever in that weight class. And not just in one weight class, in several weight classes, and not just in one lift, in several lifts. It's like one meet after the other. She's setting records and breaking them again and again. She's even cutting weight and still setting records. Get this, she cut to 114 pounds. Listen to some of the numbers. And no, it's not 214, 114 pounds. You're thinking, well, 114 pounds, that's not a big girl. She's probably natty, she only weighs 114 pounds. She's not very tall. That's dehydrated while being shredded. Now listen to the numbers. 446 pounds squat knee wraps. Just knee wraps, not a power suit. These numbers are raw. Knee wraps, 446 pounds. That's almost 4 times her body weight. Take your own weight. What do you weigh? 200? That's like you squatting 800 pounds. Are you a male or female? She's a female doing 4 times her body weight in the squat. I weigh almost 200 pounds. I can't squat 800, never could squat 800. Could squat a bit over 6. So she's way stronger than Coach Greg. I'm mad I'm not natural. I thought HRT made you stronger than everybody. I thought HRT lifted the weight for me. And so if I'm on HRT and I can't lift as much as her, and she's a female, you're telling me she's natural? She bench pressed at 114 pounds, 226. That's 2 plates aside. She's 114 pounds. That is almost double her body weight. Double. I can do over double my body weight. I'm the world record holder in the bench press. I have a world record. I've done over 2.5 times my body weight. She's double her body weight. I'm a world record holding male, enhanced. I was on test tread and everything at the time. All of it. What about the deadlift? Well, maybe she just has long arms. Maybe just long arms. She did 456 pounds at 114 pounds. 4 times her body weight. Was that her best deadlift ever? No, that's just in that weight class. That gave her a total of 1,124 pounds. That's an all-time total world record. The world record. And there's something called a Wilks formula. It's a measure so that we can compare people of different weight classes to see who's the best, who's overall the best. Her score, 638 points. 638. Only about 5 females have ever lifted over 600. I got over 500. I'm a strong lifter, world-class lifter. I got over 500 Wilks points. 638 points. Light years ahead of me, but she's natural. I'm a world record holding enhanced male powerlifting with extremely good genetics. And she's that much better than me while she's natural? Oh, you're not convinced yet? Well, let's just dive a little further. In the 132 pound weight class, she's deadlifted over 500 on several occasions. 500 pound deadlift. How many of you can lift 500 pounds? Well, she can. And at 123 pounds, she squatted 418 pounds raw. No knee wraps even. All her. Raw. At 123? Are you kidding me? Have you seen these numbers? I've coached world-class female powerlifters and male powerlifters. These numbers are astonishing. But you're saying, yeah, but she competed in powerlifting. She must have been drug tested. You know, she's not a cheater, right? Exactly, she is not a cheater. She never cheated. Does that mean she's natural? No! You're thinking, well, how does that make sense? Because you're allowed to take whatever the heck you want in the powerlifting meet. You're allowed to use growth hormone, steroids, SARMs, pre-hormones, whatever the heck you want to take, you can take. You don't believe me? It's true. They have non-tested powerlifting federations where anything goes. It's called professional powerlifting like Coach Greg does. You take whatever you want and you show up and no one gets mad at you because it's a level playing field. It's not like the UFC where everyone's natural.
And I'm being sarcastic.
See, pretty fair. Is Stefi Cohen saying she's natty? No, she's not saying she's natural. It's not like she's lying. She's not standing here saying, I outlift the men and I'm natural. You guys, you suck. She's not saying that one time. You cannot hate on her. She's not lying. She's doing and playing by the rules, doing what she wants. Now, do you know what's really the icing on the cake to prove the nail in the coffin to say she's not natty? If she was actually natural. Assume she was. Yeah, I've heard your whole rant. You're jealous because she lifts more than you and she's better looking and the whole thing. Yeah, I get it. You're going to say that. Of course you are. It's not true. I don't care. It's great that she lifts this. But listen to this. If you're the strongest human being in the world and you're natural lifting in a non-tested event, why wouldn't you go in the drug-tested event and demolish the natural records because you're in fact natural and show the world? This is what I can achieve natural. I'm from Krypton, another planet, and I just happen to be born on this planet here. And that's why I'm so freaky. You've seen superhero shows. You've seen the boys, heroes. They have special superpowers. She has special superpowers. She's natural, but she can lift all these freaky weights. She's not doing that because she doesn't want to cheat, because she's playing by the rules. She's doing every single thing correctly. So why do so many people question if she's natural or not? Well, here's the thing. If you were to make a comment and say, hey, steroids, delete, block. Hey, PEDs, delete, block. So you don't read a bunch of comments saying, not natty, not natty, not natty, not natty. Anyone else's account that would lift this kind of weights be flooded, inundated. Can you fault her for that? No! Why should she allow people to say a bunch of stuff she doesn't want them to say? If a bunch of people write about, oh, you got 7 speeding tickets and I caught you doing this and you cheated on your girlfriend in 2003 and it's on your wall. You don't need to leave it there. It's your own freaking wall. You do what you want. You can delete every freaking comment. If somebody comes to your house, knocks on the door and says, you're not natural, I'm coming inside, I'm going to accuse you all day long, you're on this and that, you just say, bye, and you close the door and call the cops and say, I have an intruder. On the internet, you have cyber bullies, and they bully you. And you have every right to delete every freaking last one of those loser comments that they're making. There's no reason why she wants it. It's stupid to leave it, really, when you think of it. Unless she doesn't care. But if you care, you care. I'm going to do the Care Bear stare.
Care Bears, stare!
What are her future goals? Well, these goals make me think even more that she's not natural. Get this, I'm not making this shit up. 600-pound deadlift, 700 wilks. That's what she wants. People have doubted her in the past. You can't do that. I probably would have been one of them. You can't lift that much at that weight class. I probably would have said the same thing. No. If she were to use and abuse every single drug in the world, I don't think she can do it. That is just astonishing, mind-blowing, ridiculous. I mean, this is not a large woman. She's not 200 pounds. She's competing at 114, 123, 132. And think of this. Do PEDs work? Do steroids work? Do they work? Well, yes, of course they do. So what makes you think that somebody could be natural and have the all-time world records against people who are not natural? How can somebody be so strong natural that they're stronger than the best athletes in the world with PEDs? Are PEDs really that weak? Do they suck that much? No, PEDs work. They actually help you lift quite a bit. Well, how much roughly? About 15% within a weight class. That's about what you could expect. So if you're a 120-pound female and you bench press 100 pounds, probably with the PEDs, you can do 115. So if you're doing 500 pounds natural and you stay at the same weight class but take the PEDs, probably do 575. It's a big improvement. You're thinking, well, that's not that much, 15%. It should be at least double. No, you need to be genetically gifted, and then you take it, then you get even stronger. This girl, natural, would still lift ridiculous weights, mind-blowing, so strong natural, you'd still make a video and say, is she natty or not? The strength of this woman is so impressive, even if she were natural, that she would still be lifting weights that people would say it's not possible natural. That's just how strong she is. So why does she still look feminine? Why is it that you don't see acne popping everywhere? Why is she bald and shaving the whole thing? So she looks like she could be natural because I don't see any real outward physical signs aside from perhaps a larger nose, which could be a sign of growth hormone use. Growth hormone can, in fact, widen the jawline, make your teeth separated, grow your forehead. It's called acromegaly. And I probably pronounced that wrong. Acromegaly, chromegaly, chromegaly. I don't know how to say it.
Acromegaly.
This is why. PEDs could be SARMs, could be steroids, depending on what you're taking. Some are more androgenic, some are more anabolic. Anabolic means to build muscle. Androgenic is what causes the female to turn more into a male. You get male physical characteristics. The deeper voice, the Adam's apple, the enlarged clitoris. Clitoris. Another person could use the exact same cycle and get all those bad side effects that you don't want. So don't judge a book by its cover. You can be Miss Bikini model, attractive, good-looking, crazy good-looking female and not natty at all. You can't, for example, show a picture of a male or a female to somebody untrained and say, hey, does that person look natural or enhanced? You think they're on steroids. You can't, they don't know. It could be Miss Bikini Olympia, the most beautiful woman in the world, and she's on a ton of PEDs. Or it could be some girl who's shaving, has hair growth, and she's 100% natural. Yeah, she might have PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. She might have an unusual amount of testosterone in her body, and she's shaving and has a deep voice, but she's natural. Meanwhile, her counterpart, who's got 1 million followers for being extremely good looking and feminine, and she's on Anaphar and nobody knows. That's the same thing that happens to men. You look around, all the guys that look kind of like me, bigger, whatever, oh, you're all enhanced. It's the HRT. Everything that they're doing is because of the drugs. But if you see a normal looking man, oh, they're natural. Look, they just work hard. Meanwhile, the person that looks natural might be on every single thing possible, and the person that looks enhanced, they might in fact be natural. Why? Genetics. Y'all forget it's genetics. One other thing I want to say, Stefi Cohen does cardio every day because the heart is still the most important muscle, even when you're setting world records in powerlifting. She's doing cardio every day. It doesn't look like it's hurting her gains. World record holder, Stefi Cohen, cardio every day. GregDoucette.com for coaching, Greg Doucette IP Pro. Bloop it up 2 videos. Be sure to watch them both this time. And until next time, I am out. Quiet. quiet.